How's it going, everybody? This is going to be a quick video on what my current EDC setup is. As a lot of you guys know, I am an attorney. I practice here in California. So this puts some constraints on when I can carry, how I can carry. But as of right now, I'm just gonna give you guys a quick overview of my EDC, how I like to carry, the items I like to carry, and what you would find on me if you just stopped me on any average day, what I would have. These are the items I would have. So we're gonna start off with the boring stuff. You know, the cell phones. So I currently have an iPhone 11. I picked up an iPhone 11 not too long ago. The phone's fine. It's a phone. You know, everybody has an iPhone or some sort of Android phone. I just have a really basic black case on it. I have a pop socket on it because before this I had like an iPhone 6. But yeah, iPhone 11, it's cool, takes good pictures. And if I message you on YouTube, my Instagram, anything of that nature on the Patreon, it's gonna be on this primarily. So the second part of my system, which is probably the most underrated part, but the thing I might use the most out of anything here, are my AirPods. These AirPods are amazing. I didn't think I would like them. I thought they were kind of dumb the way they just like stayed in your ear. I thought they would fall out all the time, but they don't. I love these things. I use them every day. I use them at the gym, I use them at work, I use them when I'm driving, a lot of stuff. So yeah, if you guys have an opportunity to get AirPods, get them. I can't recommend them enough, they're awesome. One of the more or less interesting things, but it's something I put a lot of thought into, getting it the right way, and I've gone through a lot of different options. And that's actually my car keys. On my car keys, I have really two items that have made my life a lot simpler. The first one is the Travax Link. So before I got the Travax Link, I was actually just using a basic carabiner, and I would just use the carabiner, had my car keys, all my keys on it, and it was okay. It did the job, but when I got the Travax Link, it made it so much better. And as you can see with the Travax Link, it actually has this quick detach thing on it, this little button, really awesome. It doesn't feel cheap, it's really solid. I've had this probably for like 4 or 5 months and it's still holding up strong. No issues with it, it's awesome. So the other part that's made my keys a lot more functional and that I've given a lot of thought to, this is this Orbit key, key organizer. So this is the Orbit key, and what it actually does is you put your keys in there and it organizes them for you, and really nice and neat, and you can put them away. It's not the simplest system, but it's nice because you don't have all your keys just hanging loosely. So really all I have is my carabiner, my car keys, and then just my random keys for my house, other stuff like that, my work keys, my mailbox keys, stuff like that. So the next part of my system actually is gonna be my wallet. So what do I use for my wallet? For the longest time, I used just a basic leather wallet and I kept it in my right back pocket. But since I've been kind of getting more into EDC and really honing in what exactly I want my system to be, I moved to minimalist wallets. And so the first minimalist wallet I went to was actually the Travax Contour. And so a lot of you know what the Travax Contour is. A lot of you probably even saw my review here on the channel. I have a review on the Travax Contour, and I did that review after I had carried it for a few months. It's still an awesome wallet, and it's probably my favorite minimalist wallet, but I've been carrying something different recently. But the actual minimalist wallet I've been carrying recently is the Travax Element. Here you can see the Travax Element. It's a little different than the Contour. It's a lot more leather. I like it for that fact that it's a lot of leather and it feels more like a wallet. The only downside to this wallet is this big metal piece you see right here. I kind of wish they would have just cut that out and it would just been just the metal framing here without the bottle opener. I don't need it, I don't drink a lot, I don't find a lot of use for it. And then on the back side you have your money fold where you keep your money. And so I like that part of the Travax Element, is that the actual money portion is kept hidden, which is different than the Contour, because the Contour, if you put money in the back of that one, so let me switch over real quick to this one so you guys can see the difference. So as you can see with the Travax Contour, it's a lot more exposed and you can actually see the money. It's not hidden, kind of like the Travax Element is. But I think long-term, the Travax Contour is my favorite. It's a lot smaller, it fits better in my pocket. Okay, so now we're gonna start getting into the stuff everybody really likes, all the nice stuff, the lights, the knives, the guns, the holsters, the belts, stuff of that nature. So I think the first thing I'm gonna talk about is my belt system. I've done video reviews on the past on this channel. I've reviewed a lot of belts. I've tested a lot of belts, and really right now there are two belts that I use primarily. So my first favorite belt setup is actually, again, another Travax item. And this is the Travax belt. It's a super minimalist belt. It's just used as friction to hold the belt. It's a pretty strong webbing system. It's nothing too crazy. It's not super rigid, which is nice because it's not as bulky as some of the other belts that I use. And so with some systems, I want a smaller belt, or with some clothes, I want a little bit of a slimmer belt. I don't need something as heavy duty. But as far as the Travax, it's still pretty rigid even for a minimalist belt, which is nice. And so that's the first belt that I find myself using a lot. And so the belt I've been using primarily for my EDC recently is the Core Essentials belt. This Core Essentials belt actually has the X5 buckle, and this one's in wolf gray. And I actually have like 3 different colors. I also have the same X5 belt buckle, but I have a brown, and then I have a black Core Essentials in the box, and it's not even open. But yeah, the Core Essentials, this belt, super rigid, super nice. As I say, I'm not gonna do a comprehensive review of the Core Essentials belt right now because I have a video up on the channel that goes over all the specifics and all the stuff about it. But those are the 2 I use a lot, just because I think they work and I don't need to really move to anything else because I found something that works specifically for me. So the next part of my system is we'll talk about lights. So the light that I've been using a lot recently, and the one that I find myself picking up a lot, is this Streamlight MicroStream USB. And so this is actually the first USB light I've had. And as you can see right there, it has the little USB port where you charge it. And so it has a lot of battery life. And this is actually a 2-stage light. You can go dim right there, or you can go bright. I like this light. It's cool, and it's in a cool like coyote brownish color, bronze color. No problems with it, no issues. All right, so let's get into knives. Let's talk about knives. What knives am I carrying right now? And right now there's actually 2 knives that I'm primarily switching through. And so the knife is actually the Gerber flat iron, and this is the folding cleaver from Gerber. And this is actually the first cleaver style knife that I have ever gotten. It's not necessarily the best box opening knife. It does the job. I actually like the scales too. The color is really cool. It's like a sand color. As you can see on this backside, it has no scales on this side. It's a neat knife. It's cool to have in my collection. And I rotate to it, every once in a while now. But there's actually another knife that I picked up. And so this knife is actually the Western Active Honey Badger knife. And I saw this on a Nut and Fancy review. They're super cheap. I think the brand is Ultratech. This one's in green. It's a cool knife. They come in a lot of different colors, and I might pick up another color. There was like this blue scaled one that was really cool. Really light in comparison to this Gerber flat iron that I just showed you guys. It's a lot lighter than that. It doesn't really have a lot of metal internals. It's just the plastic. The whole everything else on it is really nice. The jimping cutouts are really nice. And as you can see, it's got a deep carry pocket clip, which is awesome. This thing just conceals really well in your pocket. You can't really see it at all. It goes all the way down. All you just see is the clip, which is nice. So I can't recommend this knife enough. This is what I primarily am carrying now every day. So now we're into the final stuff, what the real thing everybody's interested into, the holsters and the guns. So I'm gonna go over the holsters real quick. So the first holsters that I highly recommend, Bionic Arms holsters, and I'll put a link down to their company here in the descriptions. Really cool people. They actually hooked me up with this one. This is just for a Glock 19. A Glock 19 is what I carry pretty much every day. This is the one I use primarily. I usually carry appendix, and so this was my appendix carry rig for a long time. But the holster I'm using actually right now is not an appendix holster, and it's a crossbreed holster. And this is specifically a crossbreed holster for inside the waistband, 4 o'clock carry. It's a hybrid holster. It has leather and then the Kydex. Right now, this is the holster I'm using. I'm carrying 4 o'clock with this hybrid style. It's not my preferred carry style, but I just am using this right now because it's the only thing that fits my handgun, and it's okay. I don't mind carrying this way, but it's just not my preferred way to carry. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the thing that everybody cares about. What type of firearm do you carry? And you heard me mention it earlier. The firearm I primarily carry is a Glock 19. And so real quick, we'll do a safety check. No magazine. I already took the magazine out. Clear. And so as you can see, this is my current Glock 19 setup. Before I pretty much had it bare bones. There was nothing on it. I didn't have a red dot. I didn't have a light on it. I didn't have a suppressor sights on it. So there's been a lot of things I've done to it. My current setup essentially is the Enforce APLC light. Has good lumens on it, really positive. I haven't had any issues with it. They come highly recommended. I don't think you can go wrong with the Enforce APLCs. The sights I have, the iron sights I have on it are the Ameriglow suppressor height sights. I think I have them in orange. You know, they're iron sights, nothing too crazy. They're suppressors height, but I'm primarily using the red dot right now. And this is the Holosun 407C. It's the single dot, red dot. I like it, it's cool. I haven't had any issues with it, and it just works for my EDC carry gun. I did do a little bit of internal upgrades. I changed the trigger on my carry gun. This is the Lone Wolf Distributors trigger. I love it. It's a lot better than the stock Glock trigger. It's really positive. It really helps with my follow-up shots, stuff like that. So it's a little bit of an upgrade. I didn't want to mess too much up with the internals. I also, you can see as I have the Lone Wolf Distributors polished extractor. So that also helps a little bit, but those are really the only internal changes I've made to this. I haven't really messed with the springs, anything like that. I haven't made the trigger pull any lighter or anything like that. As you guys can also see, the last upgrade I did to this is I actually changed out the slide. This is not a stock slide. This is the Brownells slide, and so it has front serrations. It also has the front cutout, as you can see there. It's still a pretty stock gun, nothing too crazy about it, but it still looks pretty sweet. And so the reason why I had to move away from appendix carries because I added the light on, I added the suppressor sight heights, I added the red dot, and so the current setups that I had don't allow me to put, and of course my light, they don't have the light fixed on it, but even without the light, I have the suppressor sight height sights on it, and so they just don't fit into the holster. So that's why I moved away from it. I appreciate you guys watching. We're reaching closely to, I think, like 8,000 subscribers. We're getting up there. If you guys want to support the channel, the best way to do that is to join the Patreon. I was actually surprised that we got so many Patreons supporters early on. You guys have been awesome. You guys really are interested in helping support the channel so that I can keep putting out these videos. So that's the best way you guys can support the channel, is to join the Patreon. Another way you guys can support the channel, of course, usually the links down in the descriptions. As I mentioned, I put a lot of links down in the description specifically for this video because it has to do with my specific EDC items. And the last way you guys can support the channel is you can use the link down in the details to Visual and Humble. This is the brand. This is the sweater that I'm wearing. I love Visual and Humble stuff. I bought all these sweaters. I am one of their affiliates, so I do get a commission off of it. It's, again, a small commission. It's nothing a whole lot, but they're an awesome company. They support military. They support our officers. So they're just a really cool company. They're really cool people over there. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, a nation that draws a great distinction between its scholars and its warriors will have its laws written by cowards and its wars fought by fools.